taking the breath a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, a little bit fuller, and getting it smooth and steady and even and balanced. Invite the front of your body to soften and relax towards the back of your body, and allow the back of your body to soften and melt into the support beneath you. And we'll start with a saying from Rumi. There is a place where the words are born of silence, a place where the whispers of the heart arise. And then a small commentary on that. This is from a book by Julia Cameron called Blessings. I am divinely partnered and led. I am blessed by the guidance of the divine energy of the universe in many forms. I open my heart and my mind to the influence of these higher forces. I relinquish my definition of myself as small and limited or frightened. I invite guidance and inspiration and courage. I welcome new thoughts and perceptions, larger perspectives and possibilities. Rather than insist on being the sole author of my life, I invite the collaborative forces of the universe and the world all around me. Synchronicity, coincidence, reinforcement, and serendipity. These are friendly companions which speak to me clearly of higher realms. I keep my mind open to possibility. I participate actively and commit to noticing and noting and acknowledging the support I actually receive all the time, even in the face of trauma and drama and all of the strife that we've been through in this last year. Life is an orchestra. I am at once a musician, the music, the conductor, the composer, and the audience. I recognize my multiple roles as I embrace the harmonics of my own accompaniment of my soul. I am perfectly and intricately partnered. I count this partnership as a central blessing in my life, a source of great support and comfort and strength. And with that, just gently bend your knees if they aren't bent already and roll over to one side. And gently sit yourself upright. Coming into any comfortable, easy seated posture that's okay for you. Even if your legs have to be out, or if you need to sit on a block or a blanket or a pillow, it's fine. Try to have your spine nice and long, grounding into your sit bones. Your hands just resting in your lap. And now, drawing the breath as you did when you were lying down, deeper, longer, smoother, fuller, in and out through the nostrils. Really filling your lungs, taking in this nourishment, this vitality. And on the exhale, allowing yourself to soften, to release, to let go. And let it be a mechanism of clearing you. And feel the support beneath you. Strong, firm, stable foundation. And let's bring the hands together at the heart, joining the aspects of ourselves here together at the heart, and offering this gesture of honoring, of gratitude, and of peace. And may all of those things be with us here and now. And when we go off our mat and off the Zoom room into our lives, And we also intend this for all the world, to have peace and balance and harmony and calm. And we'll just chant one Om together if you wish to join in, taking a nice deep inhale. And then just bow your forehead to your fingertips, melting your mind into your heart. And look up, open your eyes, release the hands down. Bring the fingertips to the floor next to you and use that to press into the fingertips, stimulating to the ends of the fingers and nerve endings and the energy rivers. And lift the torso up a little higher. See how long you can get the waist. See how much space you can get between your sit bones and the crown of your head. And then let's just take the chin down towards the chest. It may touch it, it may not. And then gently draw a line with your chin up along the right collarbone. Look out over your right shoulder bone on the inhale. Exhale, come back to center. And then inhale up the other side. Try to be mindful of that the shoulders are not rising up towards the ears, even while you're putting that little bit of pressure into the fingertips to help support the torso being as long as it can be. And just following your own breath, gently taking the head along each collarbone up to the shoulder bone, looking out the side of your body across the room. Look with your eyes, because we also want to do this yoga with our eyes. What do you see? How much do you see? And then the next time your chin comes center, pause there. And then let's lift the face up. And then let's inhale the arms, turning the palms up at the shoulders and bring the hands together overhead. Exhale down. And see if you can follow your fingers with your peripheral vision. Inhale up, exhale down. A few times. Inhale up, exhale down. And the next time you're up there, when you exhale, simply bring yourself forward and support with your hands, trying to fold the torso over the legs. So keeping lifted in the belly, grounding into the sits bones, and lengthening with the whole spine. The heart's moving towards the crown of the head. The crown of the head is moving into the space in front of you or across the room to the wall opposite you, depending how far you can go. Take the stretch where it feels good for you. And then take a few breaths as you hold and sense and feel and kind of observe and study where you're at, how you're feeling. Bringing breath anywhere that feels tight or resistant or hasn't been used in a while, right? You've kind of been living a different kind of life for almost a year soon. And then let's gently walk the hands out over the left knee and keep the hands and arms shoulder width apart at least. So you're going to kind of roll the belly button skin towards the left thigh and keep reaching with the torso and the arms and try to stay on the fingertips. This is the purposeful stimulation activation that we're going for here. And if you're super duper flexible, you might really be far out there. See if you can drill down the right sit bone a little bit. And then just a few breaths here. And then let's come through the center carefully over to the opposite side. So just walking the fingers and the arms, rolling the torso around through the center, belly button skin coming towards the right thigh now, heart still moving towards the crown of the head. Even if you're sitting up quite tall and can't fold over too far, keep that length in the torso, the front, back, and sides of the spine. lengthening and reaching as far as you can with the arms, being on the tippy top part of the fingers if you can. Otherwise, adjust to what's good for you. Honor yourself, respect your body. Take a good stretch, but not too much, and take a good stretch, but not too little. Breath is flowing. Really lengthening through that left side body. Might even walk the fingers out a little farther on that arm. And then let's gently come back to center and walk your hands back and sit up. Gently change the cross of the legs. Let's take the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then start to roll the head back, but stay lifted in the center of the throat and the back of the neck. And then let the right ear come to the right shoulder. So now we're just rocking the head behind, going backward towards the back body instead of the front. So then rock the head back again and over to bringing the left ear towards the left shoulder. And again to the right. Try to make sure that you're keeping the neck long. And, you know, this is a sensitive area for many of us. So only do what's okay for you. Yoga is a chance to get to know ourselves. And the more we know ourselves and understand ourselves, the more we are masters at the helm of ourselves. And then come back to center and pause. And then roll the shoulders. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down a few times. Try to find your whole range of motion as best you can. It's Friday night. We're going to go very gentle here. So be mindful, be gentle. Be kind to yourself and compassionate, and then change direction. Inhale back and up, exhale forward and down. And then pausing in the middle. Let's bring the fingertips back out alongside the body, lengthening the spine once again. Inhale the arms up. Follow the hands with your peripheral gaze. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Take the hands kind of behind and alongside the hips. You can be on the fingertips, or if you can lean back to come onto the palms, and bring the feet out in front of you, parallel. And they're just hip distance apart. Then press into the fingertips or into the palms. Draw the elbows and the shoulders back and take a gentle arch here as you ground the feet and your sit bones. Make sure you keep the back and side fronts of the neck long, the pit of the throat off and open and soft, and your face is soft. Breath is flowing. If you want a little more, you can lift up into reverse table, pushing the floor away with the feet and the hands. Totally up to you. Or you could lift and lower a lot if you want to experiment with testing your strength, or you're feeling like you'd like to do a little less. Wherever this is for yourself, take about 3 or 4 more breaths, whether you're holding, lifting and lowering, or lifted all the way up into reverse table. Breathing, sensing, really being present with yourself, feeling the grounding, the strength of the floor beneath you. And then gently lower down if you're up. And let's come forward and come around and bring yourself to stand at the top of your mat. A nice mountain pose, Tadasana. You could either have the feet together or one fist width apart, or you could have them hip distance apart if that's better for you. Find the place that's good for you. Let's bring the hands onto the top of the hip crest and ground into the 4 corners of the feet. So that's the base of the big toe and pinky mound and the inner outer edges of your heels. Now, when you push into the floor this way, you'll notice the knees lift, the thighs charge, And the spine naturally kind of lifts as well. So feel like your spine is rising up out of the pelvis and the whole body is rising up from the earth, from the feet, crown of the head floating on top. And let's move through the feet a few times by lifting one heel and lowering, and then switching to the other. Or if you feel like you have your balance pretty good here, you could lift and lower, alternating the left and right heel. Kind of really think about stretching the toes out. So bring that heel up as high as you can. This is good for the arches and the tops and bottoms of the feet, the toe joints. And then lower both heels down, and let's bring the hands to the heart, standing in a nice, strong mountain pose. Next inhale, swoop the arms down, out, and up. Palms come together overhead. Exhale, lower the hands alongside the body, just like when we were seated, moving the arms up and down with the breath, inhaling up, exhaling down, and following the hands as best you can with your peripheral gaze. Next time you're up there, let's hold. The arms can be either right off the shoulders, or you can have hands on the shoulders if you're not feeling like you want to have straight arms or that isn't working for you. Or you can have the palms together overhead, grounding and lengthening. Feel like the pelvis just gently drops as the waist up, the rib cage, shoulders, and the arms reach up. And on your next exhale, take a side bend to the left, and then inhale, center, and side bend right. Let's do this a few times together, really reaching long in the center when you inhale and taking the whole breath to take the side bend, really lengthening both sides of the body. And then the next time you are to the left in the side bend, crescent moon, just hold there, grounding into the feet, lifting through the core, getting as much length as you can into the right side of the body, and also keeping the left side body long, grounding into both feet. And let's inhale, center, lengthen. Take another extra breath here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend right, and hold there for a couple of breaths. Just sensing and feeling into your own body. Standing crescent. And let's inhale to center. Exhale, either take the hands to the hips or to the low back, or interlace the hands behind. And on the inhale, draw the elbows and the shoulders back and take a nice arch up the upper torso. And take a few breaths here, grounding into the feet. Feet are grounding, legs are active, lifting through the center of the core, kind of letting the low back drop towards the buttocks, towards the floor. And the rib cage is lifting and blossoming as you're drawing the elbows and arms back, whatever hand position you're in. Keep the front, back, and sides of the neck long, and the pit of the throat soft. Your face is soft. On your next exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, gently fold forward to wherever this is for you. You're going to hold for a few breaths. Engage the low belly, ground the feet, let the torso hang forward, increase right where the legs meet the torso. Let the head be heavy wherever it is, even if you have bent knees and are just supporting yourself in a soft fold higher up on the body. Two more breaths. Feeling the breath flow through you, bringing it to any areas if you're tight or resistant. Now on your next inhale, see if you can come to a flat back position, fingertips under the shoulders or on the shins or thighs. Engage the belly, lengthen the spine, like the crown of the head is reaching for the wall off the top of your mat. Then bring the hands to the hips, carefully bring the torso upright. Release the hands to the heart. Grounding the feet, rising up all the way through the spine, through the crown of the head. Nice deep inhale, exhale, swoop the arms down, inhale up, exhale, swan dive forward to forward bend. Inhale up, flat back, exhale, fold. Come to a high lunge. So you're going to keep the left foot grounded and you'll be on the toes and the ball of the right foot. And your hands can support you on your thigh, on your hips, on your shoulders, or you can have them up overhead. Press that right heel away. Ground into the left foot. Ground into both feet. Let the inhale expand you into the earth, and the exhale expand you out in all directions. So you pull that earth energy up, that grounding energy. If you want more of a challenge, you take the legs further apart in high lunge, lifting the belly off the thigh, trying to square the chest and the shoulders to the front of the mat. The pelvis kind of hangs like a weight in the middle there. Bring the right hand outside the left thigh and bring the left hand to the left hip or low back, or reach back towards the wall behind you. And if you feel like you have your balance, the right fingers can go forward towards the front wall. Inhale, lengthens. Exhale, softens. You expand into that length. Next, exhale, come forward, step back to a downward facing dog or a table or an extended puppy or extended child. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. So choose the pose that's correct for you right here. Or something else you'd rather do is fine as well. Maintaining the integrity of the posture as you know it, keeping yourself safe, feeling the grounding of the hands and feet, or whatever parts of the body are on the earth. And then let's all come down to all fours and meet in child's for a few breaths. That's it. Let it out. Let that breath out. Try to have the forehead down on something, whether that's your hands or a block or a blanket or the floor. Few breaths here, and try to bring the breath into the back body. Bring the breath into the back body. And see if you can feel it expanding. Down in the low back, up around the waist, up around the shoulder blades. Maybe rock the head side to side, giving the forehead a little bit of a massage. Let all those thoughts and all those worries and fears and anxieties and conjecturings and stories Melt down out of your mind into the earth to be vaporized into nothing. Let your mind empty. Nothing but the breath and the asana. Extend the arms forward into extended child. Come on up to table and either step forward again to forward bend or come to downward facing dog and come on forward into forward bend. Inhale up, flat back. Hands to the hips. Raise the torso up. Hands to the heart. Inhale, swoop the arms down, out, and up. Exhale, gently fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale, fold, take the left foot back for high lunge. You can be in low lunge as well. If the knee is sensitive, get a blanket or a towel underneath it and come on up to whatever your high lunge is going to be. Making sure the right knee stays floating over that ankle, lengthening the spine, belly lifting off the thigh. On the inhale, feel like the feet are pushing away from each other. On the exhale, feel like you're drawing that earth energy all the way up into your whole body, out the fingertips into the universe. Just play with it. Strong foundation, really being grounded in the feet and legs, letting the breath flow. Anytime you need a break, take it. That's one of the wonderful things about the virtual classroom. You have full agency and sovereignty and dominion over what you do and don't do. We'll take that twist, bring the left hand outside the right thigh. Right hand can come on the hip or low back or reach back to the wall behind you. And perhaps you want to take the left hand forward as well, trying to keep the torso upright as best you can here. A couple of breaths. On the next exhale, wind the hands down, frame the foot. Either rest in child's, extended puppy or table, or hold in downward facing dog if you want a little bit more intensity. Several breaths here. And then let's all meet in child's. This time, let's take the knees a little bit wide and sit back and reach the arms out. And if you need support there for yourself, you could bring a blanket or your blocks, or just resting on the forearms or the hands. Try to get the forehead down on something. Folding the body as best you can, sits bones coming towards the heels, the knees a little bit wider, allowing the torso to kind of sink down a little deeper. Make sure you support yourself in any way you need. Take a few breaths here. And this time, breathe deep down into the belly and the hips and the low back. Focus bringing the breath there, bringing vitality to this area of grounding, safety in the body, safety on the planet, right? The first chakra. And the second chakra, relationship with ourselves, relationship with the world around us, that's really been significantly affected. We're all adapting and adjusting and, in a way, being forced to be very creative and finding our way, new ways of doing everything, every single thing affected. And then let's gently glide forward onto the forearms and bring the hips even with the knees. And just hold there is the first place to be, with the forearms grounded, the elbows are underneath the shoulders. If you want to stretch a little bit more, you can release the knees out and try and sink the hips down. Not necessary in all cases. Keep the belly gently firm. Keep pushing into the forearms, the hands and palms. The toes are staying together. It's meant to be pretty intense hip flexor opener, especially in the inner groin area and the outer hip. So go where it's okay for you. And then gently start to walk the forearms back and turn the toes under and bring the knees back together. And let's step forward to forward bend. Once you're there, inhale up, flat back, hands to the hips, carefully sit the torso all the way up. Hands to the heart, ground the feet, charge the legs. We'll just do one or two more standing postures and we'll get down on the floor. Inhale, swoop the arms down, out and up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Put it all together a little bit. Inhale, center. Interlace the hands behind or hands on the hips or low back. Inhale, draw the elbows and the shoulders back. Gentle standing upper spine back bend. Exhale, gently fold forward. You can bring the arms overhead if the arms are fingers are interlaced. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, release the hands, swoop them along your side of your body and come into chair pose, Utkatasana. So, you can support your hands on your thighs, on your hips, on your shoulders. You can have the arms out, the elbows bent, or overhead, or holding hands. We'll take a few breaths here. Rising up the spine with the breath, grounding into the feet. Next exhale, gently fold forward, dive forward. Inhale, up, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step back with the right foot and turn the heel out. And let's do a warrior one here. So you can stay just leaning forward here if that's what's good for you tonight. Or sit the torso up, hands on the thighs, the hips, off the shoulders or overhead. We'll take a couple of breaths. Pressing into both feet, watching that the left knee stays over the left ankle. The right heel and outer edge of the foot are grounded. The rib cage and shoulders are trying to come around to the front of the mat as best they can. Let the right hip float back just a little. That's a natural position. The sacrum moving with the pelvis. Much safer than trying to square the hips forward, contrary to how this pose is often taught. So feel it in your body. And then let's gently open to a warrior two. And again, shorter stance is less intense. Hands can be on the hips. Wider stance, reaching from the center of the heart out the fingertips, really hugging the arm bones with all the muscles and flesh. Take a few breaths in warrior two. Warriors, yoga warriors. We're all yogini warriors tonight. Warriors of strength and courage, and tenacity, and patience, and endurance. We've certainly had to really visit those things this last year. And let's gently straighten the left leg out and find a triangle. Whatever is a really good triangle for you. Keep the breath flowing. If the breath isn't flowing, that's a sign that maybe you're straining. Maybe it's been a while since you've done any yoga, so go gentle, like we mentioned and discussed before we started. And gently come up And bring the hands on the hips or off the shoulders and turn the left toes forward. So all 10 toes pointing forward now. Nice straight spine. The legs are charged. The feet are grounded. And let's fold forward and press the Rita Padottanasana, just allowing the torso to come down between the legs and hang and lengthen. You can support your hands on a block or books or a bolster if you have one. If the crown of the head comes down, you can walk the hands back and start to fold the torso in deeper between the thighs. Work at an intensity that is wonderful for you. And if headstand is in your practice, this is a really nice place to go into it. Trying to think of all of you who are there. I don't even know if anybody else joined. A few more breaths. Also a nice inversion. Feels good right about now. Let's come back on an inhale to flat back. Exhale the hands to the hips. Carefully raise the torso up. Turn the right toes out. Left toes towards the back of the mat now. And bend the right knee and come into warrior two. So we're going to go back through the other side from the end to the beginning of this little routine. And I'm doing it on purpose to work with the brain. Reaching through the fingertips, charging all the muscles along the arms or hands on the hips. The distance between the legs is up to you. Trying to make sure you can sustain it with breath. You're not straining and clenching, but you're getting some activation and some challenge. And then let's straighten the right knee and reach along with the right arm and shoulder and find triangle on this side. Breath flowing, grounding to all 4 points on the feet. Your legs are charged, the torso is long. And gently come back up and spin yourself around now to the right, bending the right knee, bringing the left toes forward even more to a warrior one. Hands can be on the hips, off the shoulders, or overhead. Breath is flowing. On your next exhale, gently frame your foot. Either step back to down dog, table, extended puppy, or child. We'll take several breaths here. And then let's all meet in child. Whatever child feels good for you right now. We'll take several breaths, letting the whole body just go. Just soften. And once again, perhaps think about allowing the contents of your mind and your thinking and all your figuring out and calculating and reflecting and remunerating and projecting and story spinning. Let it all just drain out of your head into the earth and vaporize safely into nothingness. And stay with the breath in your body, maybe even counting the breath. It's probably the closest to empty that most of us can get, although some of us can think about many things at once. So even the counting sometimes isn't effective. But just allow the idea of this connection, this wonderful grounding sense of the mind into the earth, and the whole weight of the head supported, perhaps inviting it to just relax and to let the thoughts still a little bit, at least a little bit. And eventually, we can do that more and more. And then we're more in command of what's going on in our head and our bodies, and stories that we're running that cause us to have emotions, even subtly, unconsciously, that affect our physiology. So we really want to wake up and be aware. One of the wonderful gifts of a yoga practice or a mindfulness lifestyle. Nice. And then let's just gently sit up and swing around and come onto your derriere and bring the left leg out in front of you long. It could be right off the hip or a little out to the left to the width of the mat. And the right knee bent with the right sole of the foot either, into the thigh someplace. If you're more flexy, that heel is further towards the right sit bone. Sitting up nice and tall as best you can. If you have to support the knee or your sit bones in any way, get that there for yourself. And let's inhale the arms up and reach out over the leg, keeping that length and space in the torso, supporting with the hands wherever this forward bend is for you. Letting the breath flow in and lengthen and extend you. The exhale flows out, it clears you and it softens you into that extension. The inhale nourishes, the exhale clears. So many layers of goodness in a yoga practice. Think about the layers of goodness in your life, even in the wake of a world that has been through chaos, disaster, and trauma and drama. Next, inhale, let's sit up and twist to the right. Simply bringing the right hand to the floor alongside your right hip or behind, left hand outside the right thigh. Keep the left leg charged and the torso lifting. The shoulders are like a hinge. The rib cage and shoulders are like a hinge over the pelvis. Nice deep breaths. The inhale lengthens. The exhale softens you in that revolve. Feel the support of the earth beneath you and the freedom that allows you to rise up and do an asana and move around in your life. Let's gently come back forward and change legs. Right leg going straight, left knee being bent, finding the right position for you. Nice tall spine. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, fold out over the leg. And supporting wherever that is for you. The belly is lifting up over the thigh, that same alignment we talked about right from the beginning, right? That central channel rising, the heart rising up towards the crown of the head reaching beyond the foot. Let the breath help you find your place here that's right for you. Support yourself in every way you need, or simply rest and watch, or simply rest. Next, inhale, let's come up, nice tall spine. Exhale, revolve to the left, taking the pose in the best way for you today. Breath coming in, lengthens, expands you, vitalizes and nourishes. The exhale goes out, softens as a mechanism of clearing, deepens you in the revolve. And then gently come forward. Bring the soles of the feet together, but have them further away from you. And we're going to take this stretch more like a yin stretch. So bringing the hands underneath the calf muscles and just rounding down. Some of you might be able to take hold of your ankles or your feet, and you might be able to get your forehead or the crown of your head into the palms of your feet. So wherever you are, whether it's sitting up very high and gently just rounding, or if you're all the way down with your forehead or crown of the head into your feet, relax once you get there. And we're going to take 3 to 5 nice long deep breaths here. Really be soft and yielding as best you can. So if you need more support or to not be in as deep as you are, find that place for yourself. And then gently sit upright. And let's take the legs out in front of us straight now. And if this is not easy for you to sit this way, you could roll the mat up under your sit bones. You could have soft knees. The legs could be a little wider apart. Or they're grounded. You're grounding the back of the legs into the earth. You're grounding the heels and the torsos rising up as best you can. You can use the fingertips to the ground alongside and just behind your back, just to help support the torso coming up, shoulders out of the ears. Think of the shoulder blades as hands that are cupping and supporting the heart to come forward and up and lift as you pull the low mid belly in ever so slightly. And then let's inhale the arms up and fold forward to whatever extent is right for you. For the first few breaths, keeping the torso long and open like this. And then for the remaining 2 or 3 breaths, rounding down and letting it go in a yin fashion. Or you could do the whole 5 or 6 breaths like that, whatever appeals to you. Keeping all those engagements as best you can. Of course, if you're in the yin form of the pose, you're just relaxing, supporting yourself and relaxing into it as best you can. And then the next breath, let's gently sit up. If it's comfortable to bring the arms up overhead, that's really good for working the deep core. Exhale down. Let's bend the knees and gently lower your torso to the floor. And have the feet just about hip distance apart. We're going to do a little bit of a bridge series. And a comfortable distance from your sit bones, that's good for you where you're at in your practice now. More intense would be that you could actually hold the heels with your hands. And what we're going to do here is we're going to lift on the inhale, bringing the low back, middle back up slowly with the arms rising overhead, coming all the way up onto the back of the shoulder blades. And then on the exhale, gently rolling down, reversing that wave from between the shoulder blades, the middle back, the waist, and then the sacrum lands with the palms down on the earth next to the hips. Follow your own breath a few times, rising up. All the way up as high as is good for you, keeping all 4 points of the feet grounded, the knees reaching for the wall, opposite the toes away. And think of it as, I always see like a string of pearls when I do this way, and that each vertebrae is a pearl, and you're trying to lift each one when you lift and lower from the top down, each pearl. And when you lift from the bottom up, lifting each vertebrae like a pearl. Just a couple of more. Now, the next time you raise the hips and come up, pause. And at any time, if you need to come down, carefully come down, or maybe you want to take this restorative and put a block under your low back or a bolster. Otherwise, pressing into the feet, reaching the knees to the wall opposite them, and feeling like the sacrum is kind of hanging like a pendulum. Like you could even sway the hips left and right here, because it's really the core muscles that are holding it, not clenching in the low back. I feel like the lifting is coming through the inner thighs and the front and back and sides of the thighs, and the weight of resisting the shoulders and arms and feet pressing into the earth, rising up from that. And then if you want a little bit more, the hands can come alongside the body, or you can tuck the shoulders underneath, interlacing the hands underneath there. And again, anytime you need to come down, rest, or you could have taken this, if you have some of you, a block on a block or a bolster, or even a blanket under the low back. A few more breaths. Let's see how this lovely arc of the forehead, the mind, and the heart reaching towards each other again. And this pose also gives me the impression of, the belly and the sacral plexus joining in that arc, with unification of all these aspects of these energy centers, right? Grounding and mobility and power and compassion and love. The throat, thyroid is getting a nice squeeze here, and our voice speaking our truth, our creative expression, our mind, our knowing, and our thinking, unified. Slowly lower down on an exhale. Take the knees together and gently draw the sides towards your belly, letting the whole back just be flat, gentle lounging in the buttocks and the very low back. And if it feels okay, you can rock side to side, giving a little massage, literally, to that area. And pause. And bring the palms of the hands on the knees with the fingertips pointing down the shins. And just straighten the elbows out and let the knees move away just that far without making the head, neck, and shoulders get activated. And then bend the elbows and simply draw the knees towards your belly. The legs are together. It's a very small range of motion, and you're just rocking the knees towards you and away from you, just the length of the arms. Bending the elbows, knees come in. Straightening the elbows, the knees go out. Just a few times. It's like think of it as a gentle massage, very nourishing and soothing. And then think of the knees as stir sticks, keeping the big toes together, and start to move the knees in big wide circles, continuing to bend the elbows and straighten the elbows in this big circle, circulating the knees towards and out and away. A few times in that direction. A little bit different massage in the low back and belly and groin and hip muscles, and then reverse the direction. And then pause and bring the feet to the floor. Take the feet a little bit further away from the body now and have the edges of your feet right to the edge of your mat. Bring the arms off your shoulders in a T, palms up. And let's just rock the knees side to side a few times, rolling over the inner outer edges of the feet. Nice and easy and gentle. If it isn't comfortable for you for any reason, just don't do it, but do something that is similar, that is comfortable for you, or simply lie still in constructive rest. The feet on the floor a little bit wider than the knees and hips, and the knees coming together. And then the next time the knees are to the left, pause there. And circulate the right arm overhead and around towards the left arm, down towards the knees, and across to the wall behind you. Just a few times, circulating that right arm. And maybe the right shoulder lifts a little bit when you come over to the left. That's perfectly fine. And the knees are just resting gently over to the right. And the next time you come over to the left, bring the right palm onto the left hand, bring them underneath your head and curl the knees up towards your belly and lie here like in this little fetal position. It's a very nourishing position for the body. And if you want, you could curl all the way in, rounding the spine. So you're kind of cradling yourself here, allowing yourself to be cradled, rounding the back body, cradling the front body and your head, letting your breath flow, and lying on the side of the body. That's a specific activation as well to the interior of the body and the deeper aspects of the nervous system. And then let's lay back down onto our backs. Straighten the spine out. Feet are as wide as the mat. Feet are a little bit away from the buttocks. Arms off the shoulders, and sway the knees left and right again a few times, rolling over the inner outer edges of the feet. This part of the sequence is meant to be very nurturing and calming and soothing. Next time the knees are to the right, pausing there. And then we're going to do that circulating of the left arm. So let the left arm come overhead and over to the right, swooping down across to the right, down to the knees, back behind you, overhead, swooping over to the right. Might even come up onto the right hip and shoulders. The left arm is circulating, torso's coming up over to the right and laying back down again. Whatever's okay for you. Moving the arm in a way that's appropriate for you. Maybe the elbow's bent, you're just moving the torso without circulating the arm. And then the next time you come on to the right side, bring the palms together, bring the knees together, bring the hands under your head and curl up, curl in, grounding the back body. Really let the weight land on the ground once you find your place here. Just lying there, kind of in a fetal cradling on the side body. Let your breath flow. Feel the ease and gentleness of lying here like this. How calming and soothing it can be for you. And when you're ready, gently roll back onto your back. Straighten the spine out. And find a position that's comfortable for you as a shavasana, a final relaxation. Or if you'd rather sit, you could, or if you'd rather lay on your side or come to a chair. Whatever is good for you, spend these last few moments. I'm going to read a beautiful peace prayer to you, and then I'll leave you quietly for a few moments following that. Getting as comfortable as you can, having your spine aligned, legs comfortable distance apart. If they are straight, just splayed open, and arms comfortable distance from your body, palms up. Let your breath flow in its most natural, comfortable way for you, but trying to keep it a little bit deeper and longer, and keeping it smooth and steady. And once again, allow the weight of your body to yield to gravity, melting the front body towards your back body, melting your back body into the floor. Feeling that strong, firm, stable foundation beneath you, you're grounding, and feeling a sense of soothing calm that we cultivated through this time here together in the practice. Relax the crown of your head and your forehead. Relax your eyes beneath your lids. Let them rest completely without anything to have to look at. Relax the hinges of your jaw and the contents of your mouth. Perhaps the teeth will part a little bit. And let your tongue be still, resting deep into the back of your mouth, completely relaxed without having to speak, being silent. And see if you can allow yourself to ease into this inner silence. And relax your neck and your throat and the pit of your throat. Create softness and openness deep inside the throat. As the air passes through, it comes in and nourishes. Then as you exhale, it clears you, it softens you. Relax your shoulders and your shoulder joints, your arms, elbows, wrists, your hands and fingers, all 10 fingertips relaxing. Allow the hands and arms to rest completely without anything to have to do. Then gently bring your awareness back into your torso, to the center of your chest, your heart center. And see if you can allow your heart center to soften and relax a little bit with the support of your breath, with the support of the ground, with the support of your inner strength and courage and knowing. Relax your heart center. Relax your rib cage area. Relax your stomach and your navel center. Just gently be aware of the rise and fall of this area with the ebb and flow of your breath rolling in and out, nourishing you, clearing you. Relax your low belly and your low back, your hips and your pelvis. See how soft you can get your pelvic floor. And let your awareness come into your legs, your upper legs, relaxing your knees, your lower legs and ankles, your feet, your toes, all 10 toe tips. Let the feet and legs rest heavily, cradled by the floor beneath you, the earth, without anything to have to do. Doesn't have to take you anywhere. You can completely relax. And with this, let your whole body be in your awareness. Relaxing your whole body. As if you're breathing your whole body, connected with every part of yourself in this way. Nourishing, caring, being kind and compassionate, and relaxed. World peace begins within my mind and heart. As I lie here, I breathe deeply and envision every person bringing forth love and peace. I see all the world, all people surrounded by a healing light. And this healing light transforms strife, anger, fear, and division into reconciliation, peace, and unity. As I hold this vision, I see the entire world aglow with radiance. Harmony and cooperation heal all of the world's wounds and encourage love to flower in every single person's heart. I carry this vision throughout my day. This divine love expressing as me sees this oneness regardless of the apparent difficulties, chaos, and differences. This divine wisdom and understanding illuminates my thoughts, my life, my way of being with myself. It inspires my words and guides me to act in ways that bring peace to me, my family and loved ones, and to the world. Just a few more moments quietly here in Savasana.